Hey! Yeah, I'm making a response. The original plan was not for us to make a video and then somebody respond and then somebody else respond in the same day, but I guess that's what's going to happen today. I would prefer if you made your response either really late tonight or tomorrow at some point so that we didn't have, like, stacked videos at the same day. Because I know we have a lot to talk about today, it seems, but that's aside the point. And also, remember, when making a vlog, even though we're only making it for each other, really, and we're not doing it for the entertainment of others, silence is very powerful in videos. So if you just sit there and not say anything for like 5 or 6 seconds or more, that is a really powerful thing. And if you're not actually going to use that power with like a meaningful statement or something, it's unnecessary. And I did that for a point. Your hair looks great. I love your hair. I do understand the whole needing to straighten your hair when you get it cut, because mine usually gets really unruly for like a week, because it's like, oh my god, you cut me off! And yeah, and I know it's a dead organism and it's not actually living anymore, but whatever, it still freaks out. Your earbuds, awesome. I'm actually thinking of investing in old school technology and getting the over-the-head kind that look like big eggs on your head, because I can't find earbuds even with the smallest plugs that'll fit in my ear, stay in my ear, and be comfortable. I get a lot of headaches with them. Plus, they seem to feed the music too loud into my ears, and it actually, I think, has caused a little bit of hearing loss over the years. So I think I'm going to go back to old school headphones. Not like the real cheapo ones that look like they're going to fall apart, but actually get like a pair of like skull candy ones or something. I think that's what I'm going to look into doing in the next couple months. Probably not until after Christmas, or maybe I'll use Mom's birthday money for that. I don't know. As far as your Christmas list, it sounds good. Don't have somebody buy you one of those cheese for like $100. I know that's what all the salons use, but I know a lot of girls, dozens of girls from college and high school who owned one of those things. And they bought them because they were good, they were from the salon and stuff, and they used them a lot because they wanted to straighten their hair, which is what you will be doing, because you don't buy equipment like that and then let it collect dust for a long time. But they would use it a lot, and then the thing would break. And then they'd have to go buy another one because it broke. And then 6 months to a year down the road, they'd have to buy another one. I own one that I bought from Walmart for like around between $30 and $50, I think, at the time. It's a red, like, I think it's made by Revlon or something. It's just a ceramic, really simple one, no bells and whistles. It's a little flat, it's a little fatter than the little Chi ones. It does the same thing as the salon one and a lot better. I really like it. I don't use it like heavily, but I've used it a lot in the past, and it's never broke on me, obviously, because I still own it and still use it. I would do a little bit of research on ones that you can find at like Target or Walmart and ask for one of those, and I'd probably ask Mom or Dad for that since it's a little pricier. As far as the hipsters thing, you make me kind of cringe a little bit with hipsters. I mean, there's nothing wrong with hipsters, but I feel like the hipster culture is to today's pop culture stuff what the punk culture was in like the early 2000s, like when Avril Lavigne was out and American Idiot came out and stuff. You know, when it went from being an underground thing where only the weirdos wore safety pins everywhere and whatnot to everybody and their brother owned studded stuff and wore leather and thought they were punk rock and cool and put streaks in their hair and wore bow ties, or not bow ties, but like ties and stuff. And so I think that's the same thing, and I think that if you become hipster, you're just going to buy into the mainstream pop culture, and I think that you're a little bit different than that. Like, you are eccentric, and yes, you're an old soul. You are kind of a grumpy old man. I'm kind of a grumpy old man, too. We're old souls. We have old ideas and young bodies and whatnot, but I don't think you're hipster. I think that you're just kind of grabbing at words. Because leg warmers, in my opinion, are not hipster. They are just smart if you live in a cold culture and either want to wear a skirt or wear pants and don't want to wear long johns every day. They're just smart. And they look better than Ugg boots. So, yeah. The fees for dropping a class, that sucks. OSU didn't do that. As long as you dropped the class within the first 7 weeks, they didn't charge you anything. They didn't penalize you. You just had a little, like, this class was dropped, and that was fine. I know that because I had to do that a couple times. I'm a little embarrassed to say more than just once or twice. I always retook the class and stuff, but to her reasons. So, yeah, that sucks. Hopefully it's not an arm and a leg. I guess they have to make their money some way. They're cheaper than going to OSU. OSU can get their money from everywhere. Columbus State, not so much. I'm looking at my list, because, yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is probably going to take a couple minutes because I'm going to share a life story with me. This is the last thing I'll talk about, and then I'll end it. And I swear, unless you say something else that sparks another thing, I'll try to drop it. It's this Wendy issue, this money issue. And the reason it bothers me is because in college, I had a friend who also had a name that started with W, and I'm not going to give the rest of her name. You know who she is. We had a recital together. We were really close friends for a while, and then as soon as she figured out that she couldn't manipulate or use me or push me around in any sort of way, she dropped me in the trash like a newspaper that was wrapped around a dead fish. She didn't want anything to do with me. She didn't want anything to do with anybody, actually, after she figured out that she could just probably have her now husband do everything for her, and he would worship the ground that she walked on. The experience I had, which is fairly similar to the experience you're going with, yours was this vacation, which after finding out all the information that I found out about this, I'm very disappointed that those two even thought they could take this vacation, and I feel like they invited you along because they knew that you would have extra money and they could use you to get the money. Now, maybe I'm just over analyzing this, but I'm really thinking that's the case, since he didn't have enough money saved up, and she didn't have enough money saved up to be able to afford meals and everything. I really think that they invited you to go with so that they could use you for the money that they knew you would have. And the fact that she's saying, her excuse of, well, I have all this other responsibility that you don't have, and so therefore you should have to just take care of it. Not acceptable. I know that's not quite what she's saying, but that's how I'm reading it. I have to pay all my own stuff, and so therefore, because your parents actually help you out and are being nice to you, and you're not eager to jump out on your own because you know it's not financially responsible right now to do that in your shoes, because you're taking care of yourself correctly, you should not have to just eat the loss of however much money you lost. And it could be just a couple dollars, but I'm imagining since a quarter's worth of driving you to school would cover the cost, that it's more than just a couple bucks. If you don't want to hound her for the money, I completely understand that. If I wanted to hound Whitney for the amount of money, pardon me, I used her name. If I wanted to hound her for the amount of money that she owes me, I could take her to claims court to get the money. It's a lot of money that she owes me. A lot of food that I bought for her, a lot of food that she ate that I paid for. I've paid her rent for multiple months that I never got paid back. I've paid bills for her, 2/3 of the bill Julia eventually paid back, but she just completely checked out and would not take care of stuff, and I have not been paid back for any of that, and yet we're supposed to be hunky-dory. I'm afraid that might eventually happen with you guys. I mean, it's already starting, and basically the whole point of this is we had a falling out because of it. That's the main reason we had the falling out. I mean, she dropped me like newspaper covered in fish oil because she found a man who would worship the ground she walked on and didn't see any of her flaws, and I was already putting my foot down and saying, you're trying to use me for things and I won't let you use me, because I'm better than being used by somebody I used to call my best friend. And then we fell out completely after I basically scolded her and told her that maybe she shouldn't have been spending money on the things that she was frivolously spending her money on, and instead saved it for her rent and her bills and whatnot, and that if she needed help paying the bills, she should have told us before she was 2-3 months behind on paying them and risking us losing the power and us losing the gas because she wasn't telling us that we were behind on our bills. And when she cried at me and told me that I just didn't understand because my parents still helped me out for a lot of stuff, I just checked out as well. And that ended it. And if you want to keep your relationship with Wendy, then I just want you to promise me that you won't do any more monetary favors for her anymore. If she's going to use the excuse that she is more independent than you and she has taken on more monetary responsibilities than you, then you need to let her know, if she tries to get you to pay for food or whatnot, that if she wants to be independent on those things, then she has to be independent on 100% of this stuff. If she doesn't want to pay you back for the money that you graciously allowed to be used, because you should have been saving that money for school, for books, for gas, for whatever. If she doesn't want to pay you back for that, then she doesn't get 1 more cent out of you. Not one. Not for gas, not for a meal, not anything. I don't care if she's flat broke and is being evicted from her apartment. If she asks you for money, you say no, because she's trying to use you and take advantage of you. At least that's how I'm seeing it. And if you want to stay friends with her, then you just have to learn how to work around this using thing and not allow her to do it. You need to be very aware of it. And if she continues to try to do it, then you just need to take a step back and say, I'm not hanging out with you for a while. We're not talking. I mean, think about it. How many times have Mom and Jerry had these falling outs where for months they just don't talk, and then all of a sudden they get together again and everything's hunky-dory? Maybe you and Wendy need that break. I don't know. I'm going to drop it after that. I just wanted to stress that one more time, that if she's not going to pay you back and she's not going to somehow do favors to pay it back for you, and she's going to think that because your mommy pays your cell phone bill and stuff that you don't deserve to get the money back or whatever, like your parents are good for it, so whatever, then screw her and her manipulative butt, because Mom and Dad aren't good for everything, and they could very well, with their financial situation, be like, you know what, I can't really afford to help you out with that, you're gonna have to save up and do it yourself. They are gracious and they are loving parents to be able to do what they do, and I appreciate them, and I know that you appreciate them for what they do for us. If Wendy can't appreciate what you've done for her and appreciate the situation and how wonderful that situation that you have is that a real sentence? Then she needs to be dropped. Alright, I'm done. This is a long video as well, but I think it was a little more action-packed than yours, not to toot a horn or anything. Okay, I'm going to eat when Nick gets here. We're going to go out and get food. I'm insisting upon it, because there really isn't any food or anything, so I gotta go and get out of my PJs and get some real clothes on so we can go out, and I have to feed the dog. And we are kind of packed, but not really. Like, everything's kind of where it's supposed to be, but nothing's put away. I really should have packed today, but I really didn't feel good. Like, aside from the upset stomach, packing could have resulted in me hurting myself, so don't yell at me. So yeah, I look forward to your response tomorrow. Bye.